When we are planning for our retirement, we face so many challenges, from the fact that we may have some debt that we have to repay, otherwise we're continuously paying interest on that debt, to the fact that we maybe don't know exactly where we spend our money and we don't know how to make some room in order to save some of that money every single month. To, of course, actually saving enough money for retirement, whether it be on a 401k, on a superannuation fund, or from our own investments. It is hard to come up with so much money because we're going to need so much of it, especially as we live longer and longer. Nonetheless, one of the greatest challenges that we are going to face eventually, once we actually retire, is facing the reality that we are no longer working and we are not going to feel useful to society. So I read about this as I am currently studying my financial planning master's degree, and I was talking about this with my mom, who is already retired. She is 64 years old to date, and she actually has a pension back in Mexico. And I was talking with her about this, and she said that it is so true, that the fact that she has faced that reality of not working and not meeting with the people that she interacted with on a daily basis is one of the hardest parts about retirement, and one that not a lot of people actually plan ahead for. So one of the roles of a financial planner, I'm coming to realize, is that you have to plan in advance, not only for the financial side of things, but also for the psychological side of things. As we come to retirement, we're going to stop seeing the people that we've interacted with our entire lives or for a few years, and most importantly, we are no longer going to feel useful because we're no longer actively doing something. And this is going to have so many repercussions, not only on how we feel about ourselves, but also in our own health. Not only physical health, in the sense that we are no longer so active, maybe we can find some other things to do with our bodies. But what about the things that we do with our minds? If we are suddenly not challenging our brains to think and to be creative and to solve problems, it is going to have some bad repercussions. So as I was speaking with my mom, she realized that she has been a little bit lucky in the sense that she has some hobbies outside of work. So she has been playing the piano a bit in the last few weeks, and she has her sister and she has friends who are her neighbors, and so her entire social circle doesn't depend on her job. But definitely, as she moves further into retirement, because right now she's kind of like working half-time, she's going to have to find replacements for two main things. Number one, her actual job, not in the sense of income again, because she's retired, she has a pension. That's not the problem that we're dealing with right now, but with keeping her mind active, the 4 or 5 hours a day that she's challenging herself to learn new things, to communicate with other people in a professional sense, in the sense that we are looking to solve some problems, that is going to disappear from one day to the next, and that is going to be a big challenge for her. How is she going to find a new hobby or something to do with her time to continue to have this engagement, problem-solving engagement, and communicating with others in a sense that it's not just social, like what she does with her neighbors or her sister, but actually contributing together towards a common goal. And the second, of course, challenge that she's going to face is exactly how to replace those social connections that she has at work, because those are people that she sees every single day, but only because of work. As soon as she stops working or stops being a part of that group, what is going to happen? Will she want to continue to develop a relationship with those people? She might want to, because she's become very close with them, but what's going to be the excuse? Or when is it going to be time to do so? Because currently, the time that she has to interact with those people is a time when those people are working. When she's no longer working, when is she going to find the time to interact with them? And if she doesn't want to interact with the same people, if she maybe wants to find new social circles, where is she going to find them? So again, we return to this problem that we continuously work on the financial side of our retirement planning and saving enough money for retirement and knowing exactly where to invest, create the perfect asset allocation for us depending on our risk profile and so on and so forth. And we very rarely focus on this very real stuff. So, of course, maybe this has a simpler solution that we can find in a couple of months, maybe in a couple of years, very different to the solution that we may have to find for the financial problems, which may require decades in advance for us to save enough money. But definitely something very real that we have to think about. Now, my actual retirement is maybe far down the line. To those of you who don't actually know, I'm kind of retired, like I am financially free. I could stop working and live off my investments, but I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to stop working just because of that. But my actual retirement, when I actually stop doing things, at least in a very active sense, is a long time away, so maybe I don't feel the pressure yet to actually plan for those things. But if your retirement is coming up, if your client's retirement is coming up, or if maybe you're planning on taking a sabbatical year, or you're thinking about stopping work for a couple of years for some other reason, maybe this is some of the things that you should be thinking about right now. Not only about the money that you have or the money that you may need, but the activities that you're going to take. We may think of retirement as this amazing idea where we have time for all of our hobbies. But do we think about what hobbies we actually have? There is only so much time that you can dedicate to reading or to watching TV or to spending some time by the pool. In a day, you actually need some plan about what you're going to be doing. So this is a very romantic video, I believe, one that maybe as financial advisors, as financial planners, or as people interested in finance or our own personal finance don't really think about, but I think we definitely should. So if you take anything from this video, and if I take anything from my conversation with my mom, is that definitely we start to search for solutions to problems that do not live on a spreadsheet. Even if we are not retiring soon, what are we actually doing with our money? And are we actually living outside of the spreadsheet and living outside of the fact that we have the perfect asset allocation and we're working towards saving enough money for retirement? Are we actually enjoying the process? Are we actually enjoying ourselves during the process, so that when retirement arrives, we don't suddenly lose all of our sense of purpose? Because as I think about this more and more, I realize that much of my life is centered around money and on saving enough money, making enough money, and having my finances in order and working to earn more money and work and work and work. And eventually, once I actually achieve those goals, I will have nothing but money. I will no longer have to work for money. I can spend money instead of saving it without worrying about it. But if my whole life I've worried about it and I've worked towards saving money, how is it that I am going to deal with spending it and not worrying about it and not having to work for it? It's just a very difficult switch to take from just one day to the next. So maybe we shouldn't make that switch just from one day to the next, but maybe during our entire work lives, we should try to focus a little bit more on enjoying the money, enjoying the process, and not simply working on saving it. So anyway, that's actually some of the things that I talk about in this channel. This channel is not just about finances and money and investing and numbers. It's a lot about psychology and our behavior with money and our emotions around money that a lot of the times account for 50% of our actual personal finances health. So anyway, there you have it. This very weird, a little bit short, very romantic video. I hope that you find it useful. I hope that it changes your perspective a little bit about how is it that you should plan for your retirement or enjoy your life right now through my mom's teachings, actually, in this case. Catch you on the next one.